right. Hey, everybody. Let's get things started. Oh, no. Where did my other music go? That's annoying. Drop my other music track. Annoying. Come on, thing. Soom Sam, hey. Tward. Hi. From Twitch. Good to see some Twitch people in here. All right. Music problem solved. Just double checking my volumes and stuff. Don't want it too loud for people so it can be heard. But still want some background music. All right. So last time on Code Time. So we were working on Ascent. I forgot exactly what we were working on last time. I guess we were working on, and we skipped one maybe. I guess we were working more on the prefabs and stuff. Well, since then, I had finished some work on core MonoGame and getting the Vulkan backend, the new Vulkan backend working, and the DirectX 12 backend. Made sure the unit tests on both of those are fully working. So that's a big step forward. We have unit tests that all work. So in theory, it should all work, right? Well, not really, because the unit tests don't cover every case. So what we did after that is I started testing using the Vulkan backend first on the Ascent demo. So I was able to get that running, and it exposed some issues, and we pushed some more fixes because of that. Then we had our open hours on Wednesday. We kind of talked about that, hey, that stuff's available. There's a new preview out, which we updated the preview today because there were some issues with the last preview. But since then, I've been testing Ascent with the DX12 backend, and there are some issues there as well. Thank you. Soom Sam, sick Joust shirt. Yes, love my Joust shirt. I probably need a new one, though. It's kind of getting out of sorts. I don't know how much longer it'll live, but it looks cool, vintagey, I guess, like that. It's actual vintage, not like fake vintage. So the DX12 backend has some issues with Ascent. I fixed some of the core issues, but there's a bad performance issue, and I'm not sure yet what the problem is. I tested a couple things, but I want to continue that investigation today. And there's still some bugs in the DX12 backend with Ascent. So that, I think, is what we're going to do today, is use this time to kind of strengthen the DX12 backend and work out what our issues here are on Ascent, and hopefully make the DX12 backend even better. So when we release 3.8.5 here in the next, at the end of the month here, that it's as strong as possible. So let's get started. I'm going to throw our screen share up. Let me know if volume levels are bad or there's any issues. All right. Let's get going here. So there's the native backend test project, or the my solution here for testing things. Here's the two unit tests, and all the unit tests here work. I'm not going to run them all because it takes a little while, but you can see the graphics tests all pass and everything here. So this is what I was working on mostly, is getting all these tests passing. I just didn't run some of these, or some of these audio tests I think are already fixed. The song ones are broken for sure. The song isn't fully implemented there, and that's something that has to happen. But that's not a major thing compared to everything else. So that's where I was working, but now I'm testing an Ascent itself. So let's get and just run what we have at the moment. So yeah. Quirky, hello. I remembered your name this time and not struggle with it. And that's the normal thing that always comes up. So there it is. It's running under DX12. We can tell because if I come over here to the DX12 backend, And I know it's running under DX12, but set a breakpoint and present. And there's present 8. I fixed a bunch of little things that, like VSync wasn't set up properly, which some of these things tell us that, you know, when things like this are not working, it kind of means that, you know, we haven't, that our unit tests are kind of lacking. And that's something that we should probably, you know, 1 second, just fixing something on my camera. Bang, there we go. The fact that the unit test failed. Slappy07, howdy. How you doing? Thanks for watching the stream. So yeah, you would think that the unit test would cover everything, but there's some things that didn't cover. So I know that VSync wasn't caught, which is kind of a hard test to do, you know, as a unit test. Jake Legend, hello. But there was that, and there was something else that was missed. I forgot what it was now. But a couple things that it was broken with. But now it's all kind of working. Dark Abacus, hello. So if I go to single player, and all these, some of the glitches here have been happening in the demo for a while because we didn't fix it. This scene is messed up. I haven't taken the time to fix it. But I can load like this small level, and it works okay. You know. Interesting, the audio isn't running. You see that effect? That's one of the bugs, which I'm not sure exactly what that is. I think it's sampling from the wrong texture for some of the light effects, for the light buffer, I think. It only happens when, I think it's coming from the particle effects or something. But it is kind of weird. Haven't identified exactly what it is that's causing it. It could be the light info buffer, potentially. So yeah, it's a really odd looking effect. There aren't any full screen quads that are rendering like this. Could be that it's oh, you know what it could be? There is like some code for rendering point sprites, you know, which are not running correctly. Could be from that. Let's go take a look at this real quick and just get this artifact out of the way. The other thing I could do is I could capture it and figure it out, huh? It's interesting, like, it starts happening as it gets into the distance. It's really interesting. Let's go take a look at, I think there's code in here for, let's see, nope. It's not in the projectile, I don't think. Where is it? I mean, I know there was a point sprite thing that was doing. It was like point list, right? So I disabled this, which that was failing. And I never investigated exactly why. It should work, but it wasn't. He's also doing all this work to draw stuff that it's not actually using. And I think maybe he could have something to do with that, but I think I'm skipping the draw, so it shouldn't do anything. So you'd think it has nothing to do with that. Slappy W07. Oh yeah, I like the name. I was just about to say it looks like Ascent. Well, it looks like it because it is supposed to be like this came from an XNA sample from back in the day, from like 15 years ago. They made this Ascent demo called Ship Game, and this is all it was this level, and there was another level that was like this. It's pretty simple. You know, you can see it's a little ship flying around and stuff, but so it was very much this. So it's an Ascent kind of clone. It was done back then for XNA. And it didn't have any lighting or anything. It kind of looked like, oh, God damn, what did I do wrong? Kind of looked like this. You know, because there wasn't any lighting effects or anything like that. Man, weird noises. It didn't have any lighting effects or anything. It was pretty flat lit. It just was normal map, and that was it. We've added lighting effects and more advanced rendering and everything. Like it does this, it is normals and metalness and roughness and the lighting and detail lighting. So just lighting, detailed lighting adds the normal maps in. So we added all this stuff into it, and we're just expanding on it. There's an editor and everything. So this is part of a kind of a dogfooding project that we're going to try to build a more advanced 3D demo that people can use. Yeah. That's the idea, is that the demo is more of a 3D game engine. Like if I go, I think I'm in the right thing. So there's our little editor. It's in here. And you can see that I can grab these guys and move shit around. Move these lights around. I can duplicate lights, and they're all real-time lights. Duplicate lights. I can create like I have physics bodies. I just create a physics body there. I'm gonna attach a crate to it and drop this guy in here. I don't know if it's in the right place. So our little physics body there. I go back into that's the stupid editor thing. Visual Studio hijacked F12 to mean I want to break in the debugger, and that's really annoying. Little physics body there. And then we even have I gotta get that out of F12. I hate that Visual Studio decided F12 means stop my program. The other little thing that we did was we added the concept of prefabs. So I can create a prefab and select one. Flick a box is one of our prefabs. And duplicate that guy and make another one. There's two of them there. I'm never going to get used to that. So this is like a prefab with a couple lights attached to it, a couple flickery lights attached to it. You'll see when it gets near the wall that some flickery lights are on it. These other lights are kind of overpowering it, but you get the idea. So yeah, it's just kind of like this little sample demo that we're building to kind of test out the core engine of this. And the idea is that this will eventually be released to the public. It's available right now just for people that sponsor MonoGame through either GitHub sponsors or through Patreon. But eventually it's going to be a public demo that can also be used to create a template create a new project from. So it'll be made into a template. So you can just go new template, select the Ascent demo, call it, a 3D flying game, and then start modifying it to your heart's content. And the idea of having like an editor and stuff in it means that, it gives you a good starting point for like your own editor, right? Because it gives you kind of like a framework for undo, redo, and a simple UI system that's built in to be able to edit things, so you can select guys and do editing settings and stuff like that. So yeah, it's meant to be kind of like a higher end demo showing what's really possible here. All right, so back to this. So I do wonder if that's got to be something to do with the light clusters, because the light clusters look like this. Let's see if I can see a pattern here. I mean, it didn't seem like it matched up with the light cluster. I guess the light clusters have depth, so they should. It's kind of a no. I mean, it would be flat because it's part of the viewport. So yeah, that's kind of weird. Still not sure what that is. Okay, I'm gonna keep digging here. Let's see. So first thing I'm gonna try is I'm gonna just disable this code path, so that it just doesn't do anything with it, just to be sure that this isn't causing any trouble. My fingers are missing. Okay, let me just start it over. still happening. Just so odd looking. I mean, it's neat too, but I'm just trying to figure out what it is that's doing that draw. Let me find other draws that are in here.
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
Probably not in the editor. It's probably not that. The FPS manager's drawing text. It's going to be either somewhere in here. I don't think the fog cluster stuff is doing anything at the moment. Let's be sure. Oh, this is Game Manager, wrong place. Is it doing anything? Yeah, I didn't think so. The whole fog system is disabled at the moment. It doesn't do anything itself. Could it be one of these guys? Aha, it could be one of these guys. Timing looks suspicious. I bet you it's this thing. Don't know why, but I bet you it's this thing. Let's see if it'll let me. I don't know. I don't know why that does that. I think it's because I'm doing native debugging. It doesn't want to let me make that change. That didn't continue. It's fantastic. Let's see if this goes away now. I bet you it goes away now. Yeah. So that shader is broken probably. So let's go take a look at that. There's also a leak at the end when it shuts down. So this is the code that's broken, and this is using that's the effect on this guy. So just go through that thing. Nobody loads it in here. No. Yeah, I'm Sprite. Let's go take a look at that shader. It's probably doing something unexpected. Here's our shaders. And I'm Sprite. That all looks normal. That looks normal. This is probably the issue. It shouldn't have a PS input that's different from the other, and I don't know why it's even written like this. It's kind of weird. I'm gonna rewrite this. I mean, in theory, this shouldn't matter, but I know why it doesn't. There is basically a rule for DX. It's really DX11 is a little bit more forgiving with it, and that's why the DX11 build worked fine. DX12 is more strict about it. Like the outputs of the vertex shader have to exactly match the inputs of the pixel shader, and that's been a rule in MonoGame forever for that reason. Is that some platforms require it to be strictly the same. Some you can have some flexibility in. Some it requires it to be strictly the same. DirectX, it's like it has to be exactly the same. It doesn't want you to have to write extra code, which some platforms allow you to write, or there's extra code built into the driver or the low-level API that says, well, this input doesn't match this output, but we'll rewrite it and skip this and make some space. Whenever you start doing that, it slows down your performance as it's trying to take a guess at what you're trying to do. And DirectX 12 is like, nope, your vertex shader inputs have pixel shader inputs have to match your vertex shader outputs exactly, or it's going to be broken and not work properly. And I think that's what's happening here. So like if I take and put this in here, I bet you it will work. I'm just going to do that, hit F5. It's going to rebuild my content, which is just one shader. And let's see if it fixes the problem. It should. Place my bets. I feel pretty confident about it. No! Still problems. Let's verify. Let's verify. There's also this particle effect. I wonder if that... that one exactly matches it. Yeah, this one looks good. I think this one's not even being executed right now, but, you know, worth double checking. Man, I really thought this was going to solve it. Oh wait, this isn't even being used. No. So yeah, that wasn't going to fix it because that wasn't even being used. It would have fixed it if that's what it was doing, but it's not. So just uses this one, it uses that one. That other one, I don't know why it was even there. It was an unused thing. Okay, so that doesn't answer my question why it was happening with this. I wonder if it's part of the sample filters. Let's go look at the code a little bit. I mean, discovering what this is could lead us towards, you know, what the bug is here, and, you know, could lead us towards, well, why is it failing only under DX12 or DX12 and not like under Vulkan? Since we know the texture is, Dark Abacus 247 says, since we know the texture is pulling, can we block it off until it stops, or then the path to follow, or miss something? I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure it's this because we've disabled rendering in it. You know, it fixes the problem. I mean, it could be like a shader state or a texture state thing. We can jump over to Vulkan real quick. And see how it's supposed to look. Vulkan implementation is pretty much the same. Uses the same SDL, the same input. The only difference is it uses F audio for audio and Vulkan. So looks the same. See, it doesn't do it on this one. That code is executing. Let's be sure. Bang, it does it. Position 0, prop primitives. So it's a blend state. So vertex buffer changes the technique. It definitely looks like it's. I mean, it's possible it's using the wrong shade or the wrong texture or something, but the fact that it looks like it's rendering close to the camera, which is what it should be doing at all, is what's weird. I guess I could force it to be very visible. There's only one technique in this thing. Some of this old code goes through a lot of hoops to do techniques and stuff, and you know. Huh. So yeah, it's not getting me good information here. Let's see if we can figure something out in Pix, because that might tell me something. Let's try Pix and see what we get. So we're gonna go back to 12. Nope, don't want to do that. It says start project. Just build it real quick. Then, one second. We have it set up in here. Show me the, there we go. Launch it from here. I haven't been able to get the launch from startup or to launch it from Visual Studio. It's been kind of weird. So I'm going to come in here. I'm going to fire, and I think it said print screen to capture. Captures there. One of these should work for us. All right, let's do, I think you do analysis to have it like actually run it. I haven't used this version of Pix in a long time. Nope. Where's our... Man, this feels very alien. I'm used to the Pix that runs on Xbox or some of the other console tools, and not this one as much. Get to my target. Yeah, it did look like a reflection, but there's no reflections in there. I mean, there is a shader that, I mean, there is a sampler that has for a reflection thing, but I don't think that was pulling from that, because I don't think the shader actually does anything, but it's possible, I guess. I mean, we could try that real quick, just for shits and giggles, because it could be. In our assets here, where is it? Shaders. In here, there's this reflection, this reflect cube map, and I think it's currently not being set, but I don't think I actually do any sampling from it. You know, samples here, but I don't think it's actually adding anything in, if I remember correctly. It gets passed in process light. It gets passed into here to actually use it. It looks like it's doing something with it. I could try killing that and seeing if it changes our behavior. Hopefully our shaders don't fail to compile at that point. Let's handle it on both of them. I think on this shader it doesn't use it. That's a good hint, because there is I don't think it's used on the other one. It's only used on this one, and not in the other one, which is a good hint, though, actually. So that's not a bad idea. This might actually be it. I mean, we're not setting a cube map there, but it could be that it's trying to sample from a regular texture as a cube map. Again, DX12 will do some, if you pass it weird stuff, it will allow you to do weird things like sample a 2D texture as a cube map. Just because you assigned it, it doesn't try to protect itself against things like that. It's like if you did that, then you have a mistake in your shader. But it did look sort of like a reflection, so you're right. And this, the walls here use that other shader path. Nope. It was a good try, but nope. I mean, you can see how they're camera facing. Some of these hidden things that it's rendering that, you know, I didn't realize it was actually rendering. Let me load the other level. Come on, thing. I know. Looked out. Something got broken. It was a good try, Dark Epics. It was worth checking out. No, I haven't tried this second level at all. Let's see what it looks like. Should work, but yeah, it does work. It has the same problem. Yeah, that's a quad. It's rendering screen space quad as a particle effect for like super fucking bright. This level's been kind of abandoned. The bloom is being crazy. All these little specular elements. There are tons of lights in the scene. Every circle in here is a light, or sphere in here is a light. So you can see there's tons of lights in the scene. If I go to the editor, let's see all the lights that are in there. So that's why it's so crazy. But same problem. This is the new content. Yeah, that level looks kind of weird. Now you can see the problem here. The performance is really chuggy. Performance is really bad. Same issue though. That same weird effect there. It's got to do something to do with that one shader. So let's go back and look at the capture because it's going to tell us a lot. It should. If I can get my stuff figured out. Flat tree. Okay, so I want to look at our, there we go. Now I'm in the flow that I wanted to be. Am I not seeing? Just think, why is it sorted backwards? Freaking weird. Trying to figure out why it looks so weird. It's sorted backwards. Okay, so it's drawing shadow maps. A lot of times drawing shadow maps. That's one of the, oh, there's a draw instance. Interesting. I wonder what's drawing instance at the moment. what's calling that. I guess it always says it's not instance. It's they're always instance. I think. Is that true? Go look at this real quick because that's seems odd to me. I guess that's true. Like all draws are draw instance. You know, it's just you're drawing an instance with one. I'm pretty sure that's true. So make sure we're not doing something really stupid there. I mean, the initial DX implementation, yeah, that's what I thought. This threw me for a loop there for a second. Originally, DX implementation was part of a bounty, so we're kind of modifying it from the original bounty. So lots of drawing shadows, which probably shouldn't be drawing as much as it's doing there. So that can't be helping our performance. But again, this runs okay under Vulkan, so that's still a weird thing. Here's our clear of our target, renders our scene. Let's look, there's our weird glare. So there it is. We did it there. It's a little hard to see. Why? Never tell where the divider is. My guess is this the input sampler has a weird texture. It's the rendered target. Sampler not have a Go away. Go away. Shouldn't that have texture defined? I do think our root parameter, our root signature might be part of the problem as well. There's, oh no. No, that is the texture. Okay, just making sure. No, I want to kill some Microsoft. Nope, back. So it's drawing things. Let's go back to selecting our B0. Drawing, it goes draw, and then this is where it goes wrong. Looking at the texture incoming. It's like it's drawing from the render target itself. So that's kind of weird. So it's getting a bad texture. God damn it. This thing's such a pain in the ass. Go over here, window. So yeah, it's weird. It's using itself to draw the particle effect. It's definitely like a texture not being set. So the question is, how is that happening? So let's go take a look at this. Particle systems, I think, are the ones that that are disabled. Those are the ones that are disabled, because those are the ones that are the. Oh no, but this is the one that actually is. This one is the problem? No, this is the point sprite case, which we're not using at the moment. I'd like to go fix that. We'll see. Where does that actually set a texture for this thing? So it's setting on the effect parameter. And then it comes in here, and so this sets it up in the effect parameter. Begin effect, current technique, passive apply is happening up here. I mean, that's kind of the problem. Because this is when it would actually apply the changes to the technique. And this set effect is just changing this. Does it actually do anything with it? It just changes, then assumes like, okay, well, somebody's going to solve that. And it doesn't. It ends up with something weird. Yeah, I mean, that's where the problem lies. Like, if this got moved down here, which it's kind of a shitty place for it to be, I think if I do that, it will fix the problem. That's a really shitty way to do it. Yeah. I don't have the turn up here, do I? No. It could be that the reason it doesn't show up in Vulkan is Vulkan's like, well, there's no texture assigned, so it's not going to render. But it's been failing the entire time. We just didn't notice. No, it's doing something very similar. Let's see what it's actually doing. Oh. That's interesting. Well, I know why that is now. Okay. All right. And we even got to the stuff that I actually want to get to. Yeah, there's our problem. It's named it texture sampler instead of just texture. I know what the issue now is. This is all kind of like side effects of some of the shittiness of our existing system for this. Yeah. Okay. 1 second. What's the better way to do this? I don't just want to change it. I'd like to change it well.
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
Yeah. And that's interesting. Okay. Well. This will fix it. Let's move this back outside. I think what will happen is the first frame it'll be screwed up. The next frames it'll work. But if you have more than one effect, it might not work. Because I'm pretty sure when this happens, it's too late. Like the technique was applied way up here, I think. So now we're going to get an actual thing now. So this will work better. I don't know if it'll solve the problem. But some of that's the side effect of like just how our shader, our effect system works. That was kind of weird. So there we go. And you see these weren't rendering before at all. You can see they're kind of shitty. So these have been broken for a while. It had nothing to do with DX12. They just kind of exposed the problem because it was trying to render with some garbage. And those suck, but someone's attempt at a volumetric particle effect with like just throwing a bunch of particles at it, or a bunch of screen space quads and texture over the top of it to kind of do that. What it needs more than anything else to be 20 times faster than what it is. Let's fix it real quick. Let's make it more palatable. Frame rate. Let's increase it. Three frames a second. Yeah, fixed though. That's good. Yeah, it does weird stuff. It's pretty broken. I mean, it's a pretty old system. It doesn't obey any lighting. It doesn't generate any lighting. It's just kind of weird. It's still at 3. What the hell? Somebody keeps resetting this. I thought it was global of some sort. Okay, let's fix it here real quick. Slappy. Heck yeah. Run that sucker up to 30 frames per second. Let's create 2 of them, one for each side, I guess. That's why it looks crazy. Let's try that and see what it does. If that goes a lot faster, I'll be happy with it. I should probably make it a little smaller. So I want to do some adjustments now that we can see it. And it's going to work on the other ones too. Not that we're going to keep those because they're kind of crappy. We need to rework the entire particle system, but it's a starting point. So it worked. Much better. Seems like a better effect. Having it last 20 minutes seemed like a very dramatic thing. Needs sounds badly, but hey, it's working. I bet you if I go try Vulkan real quick, it'll be working as well there. And see how big of a quad it makes for this thing too. It's a huge quad that it makes. Wastes a ton of performance, I'm sure. But hey, it works. Let's go try Vulkan real quick. Come over here. Then I'll go test why the other primitives weren't working. The point list. I mean, not that point primitives are great in 2026. They should have worked. Anyways, that's why using tools like Pix is important. We're able to identify exactly, oh yeah, it's a bad texture. And kind of track down where it occurred. If you're on Vulkan, you don't use Pix, you use RenderDoc. RenderDoc can do DX12 as well, but it's not as good as Pix for that stuff. So we should get the same results here. Yep, it's working too. That said, so testing apples to apples here, facing that column. There's not one back here, is there? No. So facing the column with the flickery light, this frame rate isn't great, but it's better than DX12. So right now, Vulkan here is running. I think that my timings here are not accurate. I need to go look at that real quick. This is saying 5.5 milliseconds frame time, CPU time's a little below that, so it's a little bit bottlenecked. It looks like it might be a little bottlenecked by the GPU. If I go back to DX12, come on. My PC's been also really slow lately. All right. Same resolution, same everything. That all works right. Try to get approximately in the same spot. And according to this, it's faster frame rate, which is interesting. Under DX12. That said, it's faster frame rate in this scene. In the other scene, it is not. That's interesting. So let's try the other scene. So with this scene, the frame rate tanks like really bad. And I mean, it is a big scene. There's a lot going on, but it feels like it's more than it should be because this scene runs fine under DX11. So the question is why is it so bad? I'm trying to figure that out. So one thing I can do is I can do a capture and kind of look at the detail of the scene a little bit more, and maybe that makes sense. Just to verify. I mean, it is, there's 33 visible lights. It's drawing 1,000, it's doing 1,000 shadow draws right now. So that can't be very helpful. That said, I mean, there are no LODs. And I know that there are definitely LOD problems and stuff like that. Like we need to be LODing, we need to be doing some sort of occlusion query or some sort of occlusion so that we're not drawing things that are not visible. The shadow draws can be more optimized. There's all that stuff. I'm just testing apples to apples. DX12 versus Vulkan, we should get roughly the same performance, and we're not. So that's the real question, is why we're not. Because it makes me think that there's something wrong in the implementation of the back end. So here, and the performance here isn't fantastic or anything, but it's a lot better. It takes a lot longer to load, though. So the performance here is still pretty bad, but it's nowhere near as bad as it is on DX12. But same thing, 1,000 draw calls in the shadows, and it's, so that's why it's failing there. Now, if I go and load back up our DX11 build, which I can do that real quick. Because I can reload you. It's our DX11 build. Do the same thing. It should all just work. I didn't break anything, I don't think, for these. What? That's interesting. Why is it doing that? I wonder if I... Hang on a second. Come on. Yeah, somehow this got into the DX Creator project. Just needs to be that. I think when I was editing, I was creating this project, I cloned this one. I think maybe I saved the wrong one once. Because this one looks different. Yeah, that's DX12. The one isn't. Disable fast check. Yeah, okay. There we go. All right, come on, thing. You can see that the startup time on this is a lot better. At least a lot better than Vulkan is. Damn it. I think it rebuilt the shaders already the wrong way and it's not going to fix itself. Let me go deal with it manually. Do it live. Just going to rebuild its shaders. Then it should be fine. Shaders build. So I really want to try to avoid LODs in this project, but we might need to do something like that. And if we do, I'm going to try to add some automatic LODs into the pipeline. All right, now we're working. So here's the same one. This uses WinForms and DX11. So if I come in here and load the scene, see the scene will load a lot faster. See the performance is tremendously better, like a lot better. You can see here, like frame time is really, that's interesting. Frame time, it's not that much better. It's better, but not that much better. Interesting. I guess it just degraded a little bit from before. I don't think that this...
Frankly, my dear, I don't
Yeah, I don't know. I think those numbers are a little weird. Anyways, the performance is better in the other. It's definitely not as... It's definitely better than DX12. That particle effect's kind of a lot. At least, hey, it's doing something. Definitely need to Car 1132, this is a cute game, bro. Thanks, bro. Yeah, I mean, it might slow down near some lights and stuff. There's more fill rate being hit. I mean, there's a lot of lights in the scene, so it's kind of like overwhelming. Like I've kind of just larded it up with lights just to really push the limits and see where things are at. But, you know, there's still a lot to be done. There's a lot of optimizations that can still be done. It's just the performance here was tremendously better than the rest. And the performance even on DX11 was been a problem, but the amount of performance difference between this and DX12 is night and day. You know, again, you know, here, if I back myself into this corner, well, can't do that fully. A little bit of physics issue there. You know, you can see that, you know, we're hitting 70 FPS and, you know, our frame time is pretty steady at 14.9 milliseconds. But DX12, it is hundreds of milliseconds, you know, but it's doing the same sort of draw. Like, it's still also, like, you can see, damn it. Get out of it. You can see if I get to the same kind of spot here, it's doing 1057 shadow draws. Which is a lot of shadow draws. I mean, it's drawing 1,000 objects into the shadows every frame, which is a lot, you know. And it probably shouldn't be doing that, especially since almost everything there is static. You see all our atlases there. There's 33 visible lights. You know, there's 16 shadowed lights. Every shadowed light has a cube map of shadow data, you know, which it doesn't need to. You know, it's not. There's a lot of things it's doing that probably could do better. Like, it's definitely updating things based on, well, is there a dynamic object, you know, in the scene near me? Like, it should be skipping those shadowed lights. I bet you if I go and we can see just how much better the performance is here. But it could just be just inefficiencies in how our shaders are set up for DX12. So it might not be DX12 itself. It might just be the shaders and the fact that we're just drawing so much. But it bothers me that we're so far off performance between DX11, Vulkan, and DX12. You know, Vulkan's a lot closer to this, but it's still not, you know, where it should be. So I want to experiment a little bit more. I mean, the good news is it forced me to test a couple things on DX12 and fix a couple things or change how we approach some things. Let's run this one again and get a similar scene and see. I'm just trying to be sure that we're getting good performance out of things. I kind of want to end the stream with some improvements that we can actually push to the repo. So if I kind of go in the same spot here, you can see our CPU time is higher in DX11, which is the same CPU, same C# code. So the CPU time being higher means that, I mean, some of it is that it's waiting for the GPU, right? The GPU is taking 33 milliseconds, so the CPU has to wait until it's done. So that definitely doesn't help. Actually, no, because that CPU time is before the... I'm measuring CPU time by looking at the time before it waits per percent. So that's just pure CPU time, if I remember correctly. Where is it? Set game. Yeah, so FPS tracker pre-present. It gets the elapsed time there, stops. And then after present, which happens inside of that, and draw calls platform present, which actually presents the scene, that's where it's going to wait for the frame to be ready. That's the one that actually does that. Then it says, hey, start our stopwatch again at that point. Yeah. I wonder if I should flip those two. Let's go check real quick, just for shits and giggles. I sometimes forget how that works. I haven't messed with stopwatch in a long time. I don't think stop clears the measurement. It stores elapsed at that point. Updates elapsed, and if I call elapsed, it gets the current elapsed time, which is, you know, based on the current. I like that they have the implementation here, so you can look at it real quick, verify you know what's happening. Raw elapsed ticks, yeah. Yeah, so that's all extra work that it doesn't need to be doing. So stop first, get that time, and I'm gonna call reset because it, you know, I think restart does the same thing. Yeah, it clears it, sets the start time and starts it running. So yeah, it's time to call reset. Stop and then getting the time is probably more efficient anyways. So yeah, the thing that bothers me is that it feels like it should be running much closer to performance as Vulkan and DX11 than it actually is. Probably fix the title bar to tell you what version it is. Yeah, so CPU time is just a CPU time. I bet you if we skip the draws, I can't skip the draws though. Yeah, I'm just trying to identify like why. CPU time seems to be very slow. I want to verify that it's not. Let's run the one thing. There we go. Performance profiler. CPU usage. Just want to see what the CPU profiler tells me. Because it does worry me why that's 33 milliseconds of time there, but I wonder if it might be blocking somewhere else, like at the start of the frame. And that might be why it looks like that. In fact, that probably is what it is. Is that it's waiting for the thing at the start of the frame. That's why it looks that way. We'll see. I'm just thinking about like how the implementation, I kind of know what the implementation is there, how it's actually happening. Okay, 48 seconds, 49 seconds, 50 seconds. Just want to get a chunk here so I can test the right chunk of it. Okay, so I'm going to test the last 15 seconds of the sample. I used to use a bunch of third-party profilers and, you know, Intel's profilers and stuff like that, but I haven't messed with any of those in a long time. Okay, Visual Studio, get done now. A moment now. I guess while that's going on, I can maybe look at something else. So let's take a look real quick at Vulkan. Yeah, this is not going to, yeah. It does some work, but it doesn't actually begin the next frame, which is where it's actually going to block. And maybe it should do that work then. Because right now it stuffs it in, the work is stuffed somewhere else. Like it's, there it is. Yeah, that begin frame. So yeah, I think maybe because what's happening here is this wait for fences and this acquire next image, that's where it's blocking. Oh, Streambow. I bet you if I take this guy, and this can probably stay there. We'll leave that alone. And this, I'm going to move the end of the frame. See what happens. I can leave that work there. So I'm going to take this and move it down to present. So after it does all this junk, I have it just kind of prepare the next frame for us.
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
Yeah, that's a problem. I'll change it to do this. It's a little bit more work than I wanted to do, but let's see. So after it presents, it'll immediately start, it'll block for the next thing. So present has all the blocking work, essentially, which is generally what people expect, is that present will block waiting for the next frame to be ready. Not some random place. It's probably a better thing for us to do. Yeah, this is fine. Some weird stuff there, but who knows? Let's see. Anyways, let's get back to this report. Okay, it finally got done. So we were testing the last minute here. Can I zoom in on that? No. The last bit of this. I'll just check the last couple seconds of this. 6 minutes and 35 seconds. That's crazy. Not a lot of good information there. Thanks. You're not giving me shit. This really didn't give me shit, did it? Functions. Self. That pinvoke, which what? I hate the fact that I can't tell which pinvoke this is. That looks like a draw. That's a draw for sure. See, and the thing is that this could be a draw, but it's what happens is the first draw. That first draw could be slow because it's like, oh, I haven't started the frame yet. So yeah, let's just, this is not going to give me good information. For whatever reason, it didn't get good information. I'm surprised it didn't give me more details. But this will force it to put this into the present. So the present will block for the next frame before it exits. So it should ensure that, you know, we'll see the actual CPU time of the draw calls, and we won't get the overhead of the present. So the GPU time. So this will be more accurate, or should be. Slappy got an ad. Fun. We haven't been doing anything with our ads. We don't try to push them or anything. You know, it's, you know, it didn't like it. Oh. What did I screw up here? Might have screwed something up here. Hang on a second. Nope, not you. Oh, Visual Studio. No, I didn't break that. No, I might be doing this wrong. Hang on. Let's present. Let's go back to begin frame. Not that begin frame, this begin frame. Let's put this back down bottom there at our present. This probably shouldn't happen. That could probably still be in the other one, but that's probably not our issue. All right, let's see. Let's set a breakpoint in here. Oh, you know what's happening? I know what's happening. No one called acquire at the beginning of the previous frame, so it's kind of the problem. Let's go. So I need to know that I haven't acquired yet. Yes, I have. Is that? I have a begin already, don't I? Yeah. Started. Wait a second. I have an is recording false, but it shouldn't say that it's recording. Maybe it should. Maybe it should say it's recording. Because it should be, I guess. As far as the low-level API is concerned, it started the frame. This is kind of like, you know, Master Blaster Dev says, wait, so making a buffer waiting frames to be swapped, or is that was the basic swap between frames? It's a basic swap between frames, is what it was. Nothing special there. Now I'm kind of mixing this up a little bit, and I want to make sure I don't do this wrong. Okay, I think I know what I need to do here. Let's keep this stuff, and that stuff. I'm going to leave it here. Actually, what I'll do is I'll put this into a helper. Yeah, let's put this into a helper. So I call it block for next frame. Sounds like a great name. We go back to our present, our begin frame. I think that's what I called it. Guess I could pass the swap into it, right? What was it called exactly? That's what it is. If kind of a hack, but it's going to work. So the very first frame, it blocks here. Every other frame, it waits to block at the present, just so that it, even though what happens if this counter flips over? Well, it's if it could. So I'll have to deal with that. But I just need to know that this is the first frame. I'm not going to put a global in there for right now, or a thing to know it for right now. We'll deal with that later. I just want to make sure that this functions first. This actually needs to be able to change the pointer. Because this is going to change the pointer and return it. So let's make sure that it does that right. What? Oh, well, no, I don't have to do that. This doesn't care about having the right pointer. Okay, so this should do it better, because this time it's going to happen on the first one and not doing any others. So that should actually fix it. Just some other things that it does, and that's fine for that to occur on the next frame. I just want to make sure that it does the blocking for the next frame in the right place. Oh yeah, this stupid thing I was doing. So this is working, doing all it's supposed to, kept the same swap, turned it, so it's good. It's normal. There's our present. Gets to the end of the present. Says, hey, let's block for the next frame. Here's where the swap chain image might change, but it didn't because it's like, you can return the same one if the frame's already done. Well, should never hit this again. All right, that looks better. Let's see what our timing is now. Come on, thing. All right. Didn't like that.
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
Why didn't it like that? Oh, I think I know why. Because I think actually the swap chain is dead. Yeah, I think what and this has to happen. Where did that? It's because it recreated the swap time. Yeah, it resized the swap chain, but it was because it ends the previous swap chain before, it's in the wrong place and needs to reset the swap chain at that point, or it needs to reacquire. Yeah, because it assumes that it does the acquiring at the beginning of the frame, but it doesn't in this case. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's the issue. Okay. Oh, stop. There we go. I'm going to use that. And we're going to do does anybody else call that? I have that in two places. Oh, because it can also occur here. Okay, let's do it in the right place. Let's put this at the top of where it actually says I'm going to recreate the swap chain. Yeah, let's put it in here. The swap chain was destroyed, and we need to reacquire the swap chain once it's created. Let's put it at the top, it'll be easier. All right, that should fix that, I think. Man. Right. Right, so sets to false, this sets to true. So it's true because it's the first frame. Requires a swap chain. Says I don't need to acquire anymore, I did it. The next one, it's like, hey, I don't have to acquire it because I did it. Because the end of the frame acquires it. So when I test it here, it's going to clear this. And then the first one's like, oh, I need to reacquire. Should do it. Feels like it's crashing. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's, wait. Oh no, it's doing something. Oh, it's waiting for forever for the fence. Tom, you on the Discord? I am on the Discord, but I'm not. If you mean the public MonoGame Discord, I am, but not always. Depends. I'm not a big Discord person, but I use it for projects with clients and use it in the studio some, but I'm not on Discord 24/7. It could be too distracting, and there's just too many things going on sometimes to be answering Discord stuff. Let's see. Why did that fail? All right. See you later, Dark Abacus 247. All right. So. It's doing the same thing it always did. It always did this there. Damn it. This should have been something easy. Should have been an easy test. Of course, it became a hard test. Oh, wait a second. Yeah, it needs to do this stuff. Wait, no. It does do this stuff. It does this stuff here. Swaps out this. Changes that. It's always waited for fences at the beginning here. I don't know if this would make a difference, but let's try it. Let's keep the reset fence here all the time. I don't know if that's the problem here, but could be. Take this out of here. Just put it under here. I don't know for sure if that's the... Yeah, I'm not sure. Let's try it again. I might have to look in detail at why resetting the graphics or changing the swap chain size breaks this. But I'm pretty convinced this is the right fix here. Did not like it. See what the log says. Cancel. It could be because the could be that the image acquired semaphore was lost. Let's do a little bit more here to verify some stuff. I don't think that that's required. Yeah, I can't do that. This is used in a lot of places. I need to stop looking for this. Damn it. Sorry, I'm being silent. I have British Zibob. Zibob. Can't tell. Hi. I try too hard sometimes to get those names. I should probably just skip them if I don't know them. I mean, it should be unsignaled. When does it destroy the semaphore? Creates it during graphics create. Destroys it during graphics for. I guess I should clear it maybe when it. I just need to clear it when I I mean, I don't know why it's happening now, but yeah, maybe that's what I need to do. Let's clear it whenever it resizes the swap chain. Marketing and then signaled, essentially. Reset. Signal, I want to unsignal it. Must be a reset or a clear or, yeah, well, no. Oh, okay. So what I need to do is wait on the semaphore. Can I not wait on it? So I thought. Wait. God damn it. I need to use this somewhere else. Where is it? I thought I did. See it do that. Tell it how many. See if I can find a quick example of how to use it. Oh, I have to tell it what type it is. I hate having to do this stuff. Okay, I just need to finish. And I need to use this flag. Tell it to wait. Just copying from the docs here. So count. I don't know what to wait on. I don't know the value to wait on, so how do I know how to do that? Okay. Have a better idea. Damn it. Destroy that semaphore and recreate it. there's our. I mean, but this does the wait for there, but yeah. See, the reason this is happening is since the beginning starts a new frame, it can't. I guess it needs to actually end before it can do anything. Yeah, that's the issue. It's like because of it always starts at the end of the frame and at the beginning, the reset is happening after it started a frame, so it needs to stop it. And that's what's missing here. Is it hasn't gotten a chance to stop the current frame, which is what it needs to do. Okay. So it needs to really finish first. Let's see, do I have some code that already does it? It's more easy to use. Not really. Basically, I need to do this in order to let's use this guy. Assuming this during that. I mean, I don't want to call a full present at the end. I need it to finish its work. Or maybe just destroying the semaphore and recreating it is enough. So yeah, what's happening is, since I'm doing this at the end of the frame, it waits for these fences, it acquires a semaphore and says, okay, we're ready. But this is acquired, and it's like, wait, you haven't unacquired it. So I think if I simply destroy this semaphore and recreate it, that'll do the reset for me, essentially. I think I can do that. We'll see. Just gathering up the code I need here. Oh. All that. So, where is it? Put it here. Destroy the old one, create a new one. Let's see if that actually works. It might not like that. We'll see. Oh, fuck. Man, I'm almost out of time for our stream today, and I didn't feel like I got very far. Why is it always like that? I don't know, but it is. If this works, then I can... if this works, then I can go ahead and clean this up. Didn't complain at destroying a semaphore that was unsignaled. Let's hope that's okay. Okay, that looks like it did it. Yay, it did it. Okay. Oh, I need to start it over. I changed the screen size, so it's not going to give me an accurate number. Okay, so that definitely fixed that. And I think that we're going to get more accurate timing, and I think it's better for the system that it does the block on the GPU in present, so that present always is the slow path. There is the blocking of GPU, because everybody expects that out of an XNA API. And when it doesn't happen in the next API, it's bad because your timings are now off. If you assume that present is what's going to block you and it doesn't, then that is a problem. Right back to here. Come on, thing. The Vulcan startup's pretty bad. All right. So there we go. So that tells us a little bit. So it's actually, it was blocking a little bit on the frame time. Obviously, it has to make like the CPU time is kind of expensive in this, which tells me that. So what that tells me is the work to do the drawing on the CPU side is actually kind of expensive under Vulkan, and that's why it's adding to our overall frame time. But really, we're waiting on the GPU because the frame time above CPU time is just the CPU time. Frame time is the time it takes to do the CPU work plus the GPU work. And either the GPU is slow or the CPU is slow, but one of them is the bottleneck usually. So in this case, the GPU is the thing that's keeping it from going any faster. And we can tell that. And I guess when we go over here and go off screen, the CPU time is going to slow down because it doesn't do as much work to render on the CPU, but the GPU is going to speed up as well. Turn around and look this way. You know, yeah. This is telling me some good information. So I now know that I do have a CPU bottleneck at draw time. You know, which under DX11, that CPU time was not anywhere near as bad. Because under DX11, present does wait for the next frame. Let's go look at it real quick. The GPU time was also good, or the overall frame time is also good under DX11. So still, that's annoying. But we learned some stuff, I guess. We figured out that the Vulkan implementation and really the DX12 implementation both are sticking some work into the begin of the start of the frame that it shouldn't. So here you can see that the frame time is like half. You know, like it's almost double. The GPU time is half the time. The CPU time is much lower. You know, it's like, I don't know, 10x faster, maybe 5x faster. So there's a lot less time wasted on drawing. So we just have a lot of CPU overhead under Vulkan. And I think we'll see the same thing under DX12 if I fix it. I think that I might have some of the same problems there, that it does work. Slappy W7 says, is that internal stuff that makes it slower? Yeah, it's internal stuff. Vulkan does some housekeeping and things, you know, in order to build pipelines and to hash state, and it's possibly that stuff is what's hurting it. So I need to look closer at the details of that to see why. This is an improvement. I need to clean up some of the work that I did there because it's kind of messy, but I am going to try to merge this in so that it gets shipped in 3.8.5, because this is what you expect to get a more accurate kind of render or timings. But it does tell us that something is going wrong and it could be better. And again, the 3.8.5, the first release of Vulkan, is just an initial release. We expect that it will be improved in the next release. So we've never expected it to be like the fastest out of the gate there, but we want to make it faster. So if I go to begin, so this resources prepare, pipeline manager prepare. I wonder if those are doing big heavy lift thing. This thing is kind of written crazy because of the original code it came from. Yeah, wait for fence CPU blocking. This has to be moved to the end of the frame. All this should probably be moved to the end of the frame. I'm not sure what Pipeline Manager does. It's just resetting a hash. It's not a big deal. This should be moved to the end of the frame. Let's see if I can do this real quick. This Xbox stuff is important. That has to be moved. Anyways, this I'll have to spend some time on this too here. To move this to that blocks waiting on the GPU. It has to move to the beginning with the end of the frame. Really, almost all this can be moved to the end of the frame. I mean, it suggests that maybe even the idea of having a begin frame shouldn't exist in this API. Because it confuses things, and it should just have a present. Your frame should be ready to render. Once you create the device, it should be ready to render. And at the end of present, it should be ready to render the next frame. And that's just how it should work in order to get good behavior. So yeah, maybe that should be the change to the C++ API should be that, so there's no confusion here as to what this should be doing. So yeah. All right, well, we learned some stuff. Didn't get into performance, unfortunately. Did fix some bugs and figured out something that was kind of broken, but didn't really solve the performance problem. Didn't even kind of dip into the performance problem on DirectX. But we did figure out that some of our API is a little bit wrong. We need to address that. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna have to do. I have to clean this up a little bit and do that. So I guess, what did we learn? So we learned that the API there kind of led us towards a bad implementation, where the beginning of the frame, which can occur, it probably is occurring on the first clear, would block on the GPU, and that's bad. No one expects that, and it means it could occur at any time. The first clear, the first draw, anything that would require the frame to start, it would do that, and that's kind of crappy. What I'd like to do is probably depreciate the concept of begin frame and have end frame do all the work. That's probably what should happen. For these backends right now, I mean, I can put a note in there that we need to do that, but for the backends right now, I just need to make sure end frame prepares for the next frame all the time so that it does the blocking. That'll fix our timings, and then we can actually dig into the actual problem, which is why is there more CPU overhead during the draw on Vulkan than there is on DX11? Why is there more CPU overhead? A lot more CPU overhead on DX12 during the draw, which I'm sure there is a lot more. Those two things have to be figured out in order to move the performance to the next level. Some of it, we saw that the GPU is slower, and there shouldn't be a reason for that. It should be as fast, if not a little faster. So the question is, why is the GPU time slower? That's a whole other thing to investigate. So yeah, some things to investigate. But that'll have to be for next time or during this week when I get some time. But I have other shit I need to deal with now. All right, well, everybody, thanks for watching. As always, follow us on Twitch and YouTube. Slappy says, thanks, super interesting for stream. Can't wait for the next one. Also nice Master System Afterburner. Oh yeah, Master System Afterburner. Working on that. That guy's pretty fun. All right, figure it out. This is an original one. Pretty sure this was mine from when I was a kid. Pretty cool. Afterburner. I mean, these old cartridges were kind of boring. But yeah, Afterburner is great. So yeah, follow us on Twitch and YouTube. And, you know, as always, MonoGame is always looking for donations. You know, donations to the project help us keep this thing moving and expand MonoGame and keep it as a free framework that anybody can use to target any platform, including consoles, for that, and to pay any money. But donation is not just money; it's also time. Like if you use MonoGame and you run into a bug, report it. You know, if you see a bug that you know how to fix it. Submit a pull request. You know, we love contributions. You know, even going and suggesting features, you know, is helpful to us. Like your time is definitely worth helping us out. So yeah, that's it. Thanks everybody. See you later. Bye.